In today's show,
takeover, which I will never do again. I will never do again.
Remember, our artist threw a chair out of the window.
I mean, we had suspension. Remember when the guy fell?
Oh yeah,
from the 30-foot
I was
crane?
right there. I was like right next to him. I heard that.
I mean,
you know,
thankfully he last I checked, he was still alive.
Yeah, he's good.
But
No, he's good.
Welcome back to the Ink Different Tattoos podcast. I'm your co-host, Paul Anthony, and today my other co-host is Chico Cortez. And today we're talking all about conventions. So we got some great guests with us today. These are convention producers, people that are in that space, and we're honored to have them. And as I was saying earlier, you two do something amazing. Just the idea of all the efforts that you put in to make conventions happen, to bring people together, impresses me. And it makes me happy. And it's how I met Chico. It was actually Lisa at your convention.
That's wonderful.
So why don't we start with you, Lisa? Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us not only about how you got into this, but then something interesting about you that isn't about the tattoo industry.
Oh, okay. So I got into the tattoo industry in 2002 for charity, actually. Being from the East Coast, we had the South Florida Tattoo Expo over there in Coral Springs. And that one was owned by Tattoo Dave and Debbie. And they were the owners of the show. And it was all based on the motorcycle community. That's who volunteered for it. Everybody put it on. So my husband was the vice president, I believe at the time, somewhere in there. And I wanted to spend time with him. But he had to do the Tattoo Expo. So I was like, fine, I'll go. So I went and I started selling cups and keychains and T-shirts. And my mouth was just like on the floor. It was a very risque show. Let's put it that way. And so just I started loving it. And then Tattoo Dave, each year, he gave me something different. You know, can you run front admissions? Can you run the tattoo contest? Can you help Debbie get the packages ready? And so each year he gave me something new to do. Never took anything away, though. I had to do it in addition to everything. And I just fell in love with the industry. I fell in love with the people. We had such an amazing time. And we raised tons of money for Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. And we had a great time doing it. And that's how I was introduced. And then I just became an enthusiast and just the art. I'm not a tattooer. My thing is marketing. You wanted something interesting about me that nobody may know, but I own a real estate company since 1994. And I also own a trash company. So I'm a trashy lady. Too.
Well, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you're pulled towards things that inspire you or that you see that you want to be involved with.
Yes. So that's always been my thing. And both of those require heavy marketing, heavy advertising. It's all in promotion. So I took the two and I feel brought it to the next level. Because back in the day, you know, it was like a newspaper ad and getting on the radio, you know, and putting your posters and your postcards out. So, with what I did learn in those other industries, I was able to bring it over. So
that's great.
I'm that person who has lists for my lists. And so coordinating a show and also having the passion for giving artists a venue to gather together and to meet their local community that's the passion that I have.
Awesome.
And I love doing it.
And I think something interesting about you is that you wanted to get involved to spend more time with your significant other.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That was it. That's why
nice.
I went.
I think, you know,
that was it.
My family's always been family businesses, right? So it's like, it's just kind of a natural thing. That's just what we do.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to be spending time doing that, you know, then that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That was it.
That's
and to make
lovely.
sure no other chick stepped up in his hotel room.
Well, you said that.
It's the truth.
Well, you know,
It's
that's
the truth.
that's the other side of that coin, you know, for sure.
I love you, Joey.
And Chino, I mean, you're not only in the convention business, but you own tattoo shops, supply companies, right? So
Not supply company. I work for a supply company.
you work for a supply company,
Correct.
okay? But you own shops and you run this convention.
Yeah, I've been in the industry 30 years.
Okay.
So I started when I was about 20 years old. I tattoo artist, piercer, been around, From there, I started working for a supply company. I did a lot of tattoo conventions, from Mario Barth to Kat Von D, Billy Easton, Tony Olivas. And I'm talking about shows that were really amazing shows. Dave's show, the South Florida show. I did all these shows. So I was involved with a lot of shows. We used to do about 18 shows a year. And then from there, from the supply company, I started my own tattoo aftercare, Black Eye Products.
Okay.
This is before any organic products were out there. There was other products, but they were really not organic. Started that, had my shop, Stigma Inc. in Tampa for 13 years. And it fell in my lap doing the convention. So I started, the first show was Tattoo Mania in West Palm Beach. So I started that in 2013. And we had about 340 booths. It was a big venue. It was about 50,000 square feet.
Wow.
Then our second year was 100,000 square feet. We had a car show with the convention. It was pretty big. It was a good show. Partners, and we know about partners. It doesn't work out. So I kind of got out of it. Plus, out of respect, out of Gil Monty, I didn't know that the name Tattoo Mania, he had a shop, but I didn't know he had a convention with Slinger's Ball. Yeah, Slinger's Ball. It was based out of Tattoo Mania, his shop. Well, they had a problem with it, and out of respect, and even me falling out with the partnership, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna, keep that name. So I wasn't even gonna do conventions after that. Well, artists were calling me up, and they were just asking me, it's like, hey, I really enjoy doing the show. Are you gonna do another one? Well, we tried Fort Lauderdale. Didn't work out. I think you went to that one, yeah?
I went to all of them.
Yeah. Fort Lauderdale didn't work out. Again, I had partners. Then from there, I was like, I'm not doing this. I enjoyed it. It gave me life. I enjoyed doing the show. Whatever I learned, I love doing it. I've been involved in the community for so many years. This is what changed my life. I didn't do anything else. I just did this. I was a kid from the streets, and I was involved in tattooing, and that's what changed me. And then from there, we started Ink Mania Expo in St. Petersburg. And Ink Mania's Expo was it was a good show. And now by next year, we're doing Ink Mania Fest. Nice. So we're going to start that one.
Cool. So then what's the evolution from show to fest?
Bigger show.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Cali Fest in Colombia. My good friend Juan, he passed away not too long ago. He kind of walked me through his whole show. I saw that what he did, and that's what I wanted. There's so many tattoo conventions out and just in the base of Florida, and I just didn't want to be the same show, that everybody has. And I want to do something a little different. I wanted to do something more festive. I think it's the Latin in me. I want to do something more, like music, cars. And that's how I remember Billy Easton did a show one time in Cocoa Beach. You remember that show? I don't remember. He did it with Tony Olivas. They had even South Florida did something like that too. South Florida had some car shows. They even had, I remember Tigers one time outside.
Tigers, alligators.
Yeah. It was
Tigers, alligators, car
Rob
show.
G brought his tiger.
Correct. Yeah.
May rest in peace. Yeah.
Snakes.
Yeah.
We had the snakes.
So to me, that was attractive. Just to bring more than tattooing. Because what happens is there's so many, before there was only a little bit of shows. So people waited a year to go to that show. They waited a year, not for trophies. They went mostly to bond with each other. I mean, I remember trophies was really, competitions was like, there was really no big deal about competition.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even, I don't even remember competitions that
I
much.
think we all used to go to have a drink with each other.
Exact party. It was mostly a party, especially Billy's show.
Mm-hmm.
Like Billy and Tony shows. Oh my gosh, the shows were crazy. The after parties, we all waited for the after parties.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're there, really, to hang, to build relationships. Because as we've said here so many times, it's about connection. It's all about connection.
And not only connection, it was the bonding. It was the community. It wasn't even that time. It wasn't even like the connection to try to get something out of somebody. It was more like the brother you haven't
Yeah, same
seen
thing.
for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
long time, and
Right,
you're
right,
like,
right.
you didn't even talk about tattooing.
Mm.
It was like you got together. We didn't even talk about tattooing. We didn't talk about nothing. It was talking about playing CeeLo, talking about what happened, that day, talking about our family. That's how it was.
Mm.
That's how it used to be.
Right.
And I remember with Joe Cabianco, with these guys, we would sit there and we would just play. Tony would come and we'd play CeeLo.
I lost a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was relationship.
I used to watch them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. And then the shows too. I can't really talk about the shows here. I got my son over here, but the shows were great. The performance were amazing.
By the way, I didn't go to any of the after parties and any of the shows.
No, I
wanna make
didn't.
that
I don't
perfectly
remember
clear.
seeing him.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't remember seeing
Chico's
him.
never there.
I don't remember seeing him. You good? You good, Chico?
Thank you.
So, my wife knew I was in all of them.
And then Lisa, so with what you've been doing, right, and bringing people together, which is what Chino's talking about, what do you think are the most advantageous things today, for reasons why artists want to go to conventions and why they should go to conventions?
I feel like personally, every artist should go to at least 3 shows, at least, because I've said before, conventions are the gift that just keeps giving. They just keep on giving, whether it be through networking, whether it be like, these artists can come into town, right? Let's say it's an out of state, out of country artist. They network there, right? And they make friends and they become friends for life. Right?
Absolutely.
And, you could get guest spots. You could have people come. You just can network back and forth. Like, for instance, this is happening
That's
right
where
here
we met, yeah.
because
at your
of
Gulf Coast convention.
the show.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, the local community is just buzzing all around. So for local artists, it's amazing. I feel every single artist should check out their local show, the closest one in proximity to them. Even if they don't go and participate and tattoo there, they should at least participate and go shake hands, meet people. That's what it's about. Whether you tattoo there or not, that's what it's about. Coming out, meeting the people, meeting your brothers and sisters, creating friendships for life. For us, it's always been about charity. We were there to take a whole entire community of tattoo artists, vendors, the attendees, and raise money. That was our Black Gala affair. It was a weekend event. And giving it with that purpose, that's what we did. And then as a result, everything that Chino said, everything that's happening, as a coordinator, watching that happening is a beautiful thing. Watching these relationships develop over time. And I'm sure, you're on both sides. You've been doing it, right?
Yeah.
And you create it for people. Mm-hmm. So I know that emotion that I mean. You're like, yeah, they went at my show.
I mean, I agree with you when it comes to artists go to shows. But one thing I could just tell you regarding shows, and I know you agree with me too, is I feel artists should start venting the shows they're going to go to. And I mean, because there's so many promoters out there, and you and I mean, we could sit here and talk about it, that we just talked about it just out here, that people go to and they expect something, but not all promoters are going to do what you're doing, what I'm doing, what a couple people are doing from up north. They're not doing that.
Okay, what he means, and I'll be the one to say it, is don't do fucking Ink the Bay. That show is a piece of fucking shit. The guy is a fucking piece of shit.
I second
and
that.
some people shouldn't be allowed into our industry, culture, or even our presence.
There you go.
I said it.
Okay, well, he opened that can of worms. So
I mean,
let me explain something.
But I agree.
And this is what kills me.
His name is Jameson. He sucks.
And this is what kills me regarding Jameson. And like I mentioned, it's not really Jameson. It's the people that follow Jameson. And that's what kills me. Jameson could be who he is, but it's the ones who follow him that drives me up the wall.
But this is why they need to do homework. They need to talk to other. I don't do a show if it's the first year or even the second year unless I speak to fellow artists and say, did you go there? What happened? What was it like? What should I expect? How was attendance? These are a million questions that you should be asking somebody. If it's the first year, then you have no one to ask. But at least have the person who's doing the show be somebody of reputation or somebody of name.
With that said, do you remember when we went out to dinner? Your wife, yourself?
Yeah.
We went out to dinner and he took out his black book. Do you still have your black book?
I do, but not with me.
He took out, not that black book,
Yeah,
the black book
yeah.
of shows. Okay. So he literally took that out and he had every show. Expenses, what he made. He showed me every page. And he said, if it makes sense, I go. If it doesn't make sense, I don't go.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I mean, it's as simple as that. And
I mean,
definitely artists have to do that.
Keep in mind too, there's difference of, and I know from the experience of the artists, there's artists that go there to make money. There's artists that go there to, like you mentioned, to network, to mingle with other artists, or they like the promoter who does the show, and they want to support the promoter, and they don't care if they make money. I know artists there that come, they don't make one penny, they don't even tattoo, and it drives me up the wall. But they like it because the atmosphere, they feel like it's a vacation for them, right. And they go in. So, like Chico knows, I mean, he hasn't done my Ink Media Expo because it's you've done the one or two, I've done but two. Because it got smaller, and it's a little different show with his animal, what he does, you know, like he does a little bigger shows the way he does and stuff like that. So by that being said, I know the kind of people that comes to these shows. So, you know, every artist is different when they go to shows. Each one is going to be different what they're going for. So if somebody goes in there because they think they're going to make money, ask, like you say, ask the right person. Hey, am I going to make money in this place? They're going to say, yeah, you're going to make money. Hey, is it a good show? Is it organized? You know, yeah, this show is organized. It's good. You know what I'm saying? So that's the questions that sometimes people should ask, whether, you know, like, hey, this and that, you know, say, find out those type of questions.
And if somebody is looking to do that research, right, I mean, they can just look at the attendees from the year prior. Right, because I mean, you know, if they're in a relationship with you,
but attendees.
I guess I'm just wondering if they don't actually know you, right? Yeah, you know, like how do you uncover that for, say, you know, you're going to go to something in Georgia, you're going to go to something,
because you could go to
North
choice
Carolina
shows. You could go to choice shows, and choice shows are a lot of attendees, but it doesn't mean you're going to tattoo at that show.
The thing is, you got to know who you're talking to. I have an ex-employee called Jordy. Jordy's an Ink Masters. Jordy will go to a show, and his perspective is totally different than my perspective because he's an ink master. He's being sought out. I'm nobody. I have to sort out my customers. So we're looking at it from two different angles. You understand? You're not going to ask Tattoo Baby if she had a great show. She's going to have a great show regardless of what she goes to. You understand? You have to ask somebody like Casper. Casper and me got the same type of booth. We run things kind of the same. We're looking at things that kind of the same way.
Because you know how he runs it? You know how he runs it? Just how we run our shops. So him and I has that old school way. My shop, it's custom, but it's still walking. 70% of my clientele is new clients, tourists, they come in. We still got the artists that could do the custom piece, the Tattoo Baby stuff, the big pieces that are really nice. But I don't focus on the boutique, the really pieces. I don't do appointments only.
Right.
Walk-ins come in. You know, they all want to come in. You know, we have that. So that same idea, I see you do it at the shows.
The M4L Pro booth is like
he's open. Yeah. Somebody comes in there, they want a little
he's
banger.
Like,
Yo, I get you a person.
More artists in 4 booths than I've ever seen.
Yo, I've seen him. He goes in there, and somebody comes up to Chico, hey, you know, hey, you, come here. I got this one for you.
Do you ever have people that are first timers that are nervous? First time tattoo artists? Yeah, well, first timers to a convention, right?
Yeah,
you have to kind of talk them into it.
I break them out. Yeah.
What, tattoo artists?
Yeah, they get nervous, right? Because they've definitely had
every artist,
right? Yeah. They get nervous and they don't want to go, but they want to go, but they don't want to go. How do you help them get over that?
They could be a vet, but you go to something that's like Philly. You do the Philly show. It's
that's crazy.
It's what's the word I want to use?
That's just crazy.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's a big show.
It takes you 2 days to find your booth.
It does.
It's a
Right.
big
Well,
show.
that's
You know?
where Villain Arts, started everything, and Troy
And
started doing this thing
it's
there.
intimidating
that
as
started
fuck.
with Philadelphia Eddie.
Philadelphia Eddie, right?
Yeah,
but sorry,
yeah,
but then
Philadelphia, yeah.
then when Troy, took it
I
to the
knew
level
Troy
that it's
from
at,
years. I know Troy. Yeah, that was
But
Philadelphia.
that's a
Yeah,
very
no.
intimidating show that if you are trying to do a first show, don't do Philly.
Mhm.
Start off,
Start off right.
yeah, at a
So
But
for
I do
artists
feel
who
like
haven't done it yet.
even if you don't tattoo there,
go
go
check it
there.
out. Yeah,
I try to tell the audience that I market to, whether, all the artists, it's your show. I'm doing this show for the Gulf Coast of Florida. It's your show. Whether you tattoo there or you don't tattoo there, it's still your show. So come hang out with everybody, check out the entertainment, meet the local community, meet the other artists, meet the artists that we're bringing into town just to come here and see you, pick up some guest spots, network, pulling the community together. I can't stress it enough. I really can't.
I think
And that's why
I'm
it's
sorry.
like there is more. I'm sorry,
no, you go.
but there is more to going to a convention and making money. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You can meet clients there for life. You may, they may get $150, $200 tattoo, and then they show up at your shop, a month later with 3 of their friends, and they just keep coming and coming. So that's why I think it's important. The other thing is, for me, watching an artist, and this happened last year. It usually happens. There's always an artist. It's his first convention. This happened to Oscar this year. First convention and one tattoo of the day. He won another category, but one tattoo of the day at his first convention. So his first trophy. And just sitting there watching that and taking that back in and watching the little celebrations that happen afterwards. I love it. I do love it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And that's why we do healed contests and we do fresh. Healed so other artists can bring in their clients can come on their own, but we also have fresh for the people that are in the room. I know Chino does that at his shows as well,
Yeah.
and I think that's important.
Yeah, we do that. And one thing I focus too is darker skin. I started that. I'm brown, so my colors will look different with a whiter complexion. So I started dark. I call it dark canvas. So
Cool.
I
That's
have
great.
best dark canvas
Yeah,
color,
yeah.
best
Dope.
dark canvas. For black tattoo artists, give them an opportunity to actually be there and have even people represent, because there's great. I have one in my shop that they have a lot of their clients with dark skin, and I feel like that's a category that should be there too.
That's
So-
cool. That's cool. I don't think I've
That's a
seen
good
that.
category.
Actually,
Yeah,
That is a
actually,
good category.
actually,
It's great.
Yahtzee started it. He saw it. He called me up and he said, I'm going to do that in Puerto Rico too. I said, all right, cool.
That's
So
cool.
I take advantage of it. So
What kind of stuff happens behind the scenes that nobody has any idea about in order to pull these things off, right? Stuff that you could tell us about.
well, there's my son there. How much I get him, drive him crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot. For me, it'd be a little different because I was dealing with my health. So I had 2 years ago, I had a kidney transplant. So 2023, I was doing dialysis and I was still doing the convention. This is before Tony passed away. I did a surprise for Tony Olivas because he was my mentor. He actually showed me how to put shows together. I would sit with him for hours. He would explain things with me. He helped me out. He consulted me regarding Tattoo Mania, the partners I had. So the thing about him was, I remember that year was really, that backstage was crazy because we were trying to do a surprise for Tony. We did a legendary artist. You saw the video and stuff like that. We did for him, and then a year later he passed away. Yeah, so love Tony, man, love the guy. But every year we always have something for him. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in the back regarding the shows. I know you have crazy stuff that happens with you.
Well, maybe we'll alternate, challenges, obstacles, right? What's something that you got over in order to pull off a show that,
Every year it's something different, I'll tell you. Every year, like I said, my mentor, I was able to work under him from 2002 to 2017. Actually, 2016 was his last show.
Wow.
And 2017 is, Debbie, his wife. helped me with the finishing touches of everything that I needed to know. That'll never happen. I learned something new every year. So I did the show in 17, 18, 19, and then COVID, and then came over here. But every year it is literally something different, whether it's venues have different, they've changed their rules, whether insurance has changed their rules. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. But if people walk into the show and they're like, I can fill a room with artists and do a show, then that means we did a good job. You know, I've personally been to Chino's show. And you walk in and you get that feel. It's just like somebody walked in.
You won't find me.
Put in some artists.
You won't see me around.
Put in some artists. Yeah, I mean,
you're running around.
You are. You're all over
everywhere.
the place.
I drive my son insane because I can't sit. And even when I do, like I went to your show, I've gone to shows. Even when I went to Cali, my wife tells me, it's like, this is not your show. Stop doing it. I will go and walk. I'll talk to artists. Hey, how you doing? How's everything? And I'll go to another. Hey, how you doing? How's everything going? I went to you. Remember? I went to, hey, how's everything going on? And my wife's like, can you stop doing that? But I feel that made me alive. That's what kept me, doing that. And I enjoy that. That was my world. That was my world. So that to me, I enjoyed. That's why when I do my show, and she thinks I'm crazy. I'm running there grabbing biohazard and
I'll never do that again.
I'm grabbing garbage.
Not that
I'm
I did it.
bio.
Not that I did it.
I'm grabbing bio. I own my own pipe and drapes, so I install the pipe and drapes myself, and I'm doing all this stuff, and people are looking at me. It's like, oh yeah, there goes the owner. He's over there. He's walking over there.
He's taking out the garbage.
Yeah, but I'm like that in my shop. I'm sweeping the floor, I'm cleaning the toilet. I'm doing this like, oh, there's the owner. When it's
that's the owner mentality, right? It's just you're actually paying attention to everything all the time.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
I feel like you appreciate it more if you actually got your hands dirty.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I enjoy better, me doing it.
Gotcha. And so you've both been at it for a number of years, right? So where do you think things are trending towards, with conventions, or where are you seeing them go? Where would you like them to go? We'll start with you, Lisa.
Where do I see them going? Can I have to be nice?
No, you can be nice.
This is.
Does it have to be
Well,
nice?
You could curse.
No, you could actually say the truth.
I mean, listen, everybody has their own style of show that they want to throw. I love when there's, one show, maybe two in the same city, like I said, we were in Coral Springs. So in our area of Broward County, it was like the Super Bowl. Like everybody waited for it, and we had it all. That was a whole hotel takeover, which I will never do again. I will never do again.
What
seriously,
is it again?
The hotel takeover.
To do the hotel takeover.
But we kind of had to.
Too much aggravation.
But that was a good show. I mean, it was a big show.
That was your wife's first show.
That was my wife's first show when she came from Mexico.
Yeah.
I was working at the supply company.
Yeah.
And my wife comes. She actually got into a car accident, and she's like, she was in her neck brace and all that, and she's like, okay, this is my first show. She didn't speak any English, and it was a wild show. It was just like, wow.
I mean, that show was definitely. We had to make our own party there. It was like in the middle of like the Everglades almost. So there was no place to after party. There was no place.
Threw a chair. Remember, artist threw a chair out of the window.
I mean, we had suspension. Remember when the guy fell?
Oh yeah,
from the 30-foot
I was
crane?
right there. I was like right next to him.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yep. Fell from a 30-foot crane.
Gotta get some insurance for that, ahead of time.
I mean, thankfully he last I checked, he was still alive.
Yeah, he's good.
But
no, he's good.
I mean, that was something
he's just
else.
hurt. Still hurt.
But we had fetish there. We had burlesque there. We had comedy there. We had 12 live bands there playing 3 stages.
That was the only tattoo convention that I heard rockabilly in. Actually, I didn't know I liked rockabilly until I did that show.
Interesting.
We had rockabilly. Yeah, Saturday nights was all about the pinup contest and rockabilly. We did the car show on Sunday.
That
the car and bike show.
If you remember, that was one of the first shows in Florida that had like the biggest names. Nico Tata was there. I remember when they had the Tattoo War. It was at that show. Tattoo War that didn't last. That show didn't last for so long, but it was there. They had it there. You remember they had the separate rooms? And it was
that was in Deerfield.
Deerfield.
That wasn't Coral Springs.
No,
that was in Deerfield.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a tough hotel.
Yeah.
But we always took over the hotel.
But they had some big names.
You know.
You had some big names.
Deerfield is where the golf ball went through my window. Dave paid for my whole windshield.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't remember which one it was, but when I came out, there was a golf ball right through my window.
That's funny.
And I told Dave, Dave tells me, why do you look so mad? I said, because I got a Cadillac outside with a golf ball hole.
It was hole in one.
No,
Yeah.
that was in Coral Springs.
Oh, well, Dave
that was
paid
on the
for
golf
my-
course.
No idea that they looked it up.
Deerfield
Yeah.
wasn't on the golf course.
And he called up. Next thing, he goes, I need the keys to your Cadillac. And I gave him the keys. I didn't even ask him for what. And when I go back, my window was changed.
Nice.
He was awesome. Yeah.
But I mean, getting back to your question, like I said, I love for it to be like the Super Bowl, you know? But if you make, like, if there's going to be 2 shows in one city, it should be so entirely, incredibly different than the other show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Out of respect, I feel like it should only be one. That's how I was raised. That's how I was taught by my mentor. But it definitely is taking on that. I hope that it doesn't get to the point where you're at 3 shows and where you're at 4 shows.
It's already happened.
It's going to take away
Yeah.
it's going to take away the allure of it. It's going to take, now you're taking a beautiful community and you're separating it into 2, 3, 4 different dates. And that's just sad because, you know, it's supposed to be for everybody at that time. I feel that's my opinion on it. It doesn't mean that it's everybody's.
Right. So you're saying the general trend is there's more conventions, more people are producing conventions. There's more than ever before, right?
But I'll be honest, though, there's more conventions, but there's more failing conventions. Right. I think before, not that many conventions failed. No. Right. Now there's going to be 4 conventions in Jacksonville. Oh, yeah. There's in Savannah, there's 3 or 4. Savannah doesn't have
Tampa
a population.
has 3 now.
But Tampa's big. We can argue.
But
you understand what I'm saying? But Savannah, you know, Georgia.
Yeah, but the thing is too is like you and I experienced from shops. There wasn't that many tattoo shops. Tampa they had that many. Miami was
right now. There's so many more.
We have 700 shops in Tampa.
It's 700 licenses for shops.
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 Space all over
in the Tampa Bay area.
Tampa Bay area. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy.
And there's only 2 people that go and inspect all those.
Yeah. I know the inspectors. And I'm good with them. And they're just like,
sure,
it's just crazy. So by that being said, is conventions are the same. They're every day there's somebody wants to do another one. Jameson, we have the Ink Debate. There's going to be another Jameson coming along. So I feel like yourself as well as myself, people who's been in the industry longer, people who have seen, you got to get with the times, just like Chico gets with the times now with the AI or with social media or
what's AI?
Whatever. So with all that stuff, you have to grow and know how to get better because they're gonna try to come and they're gonna copycat. A lot of people, don't want to say names, but people out there, the minute you post something, they're already grabbing your idea.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, and they're grabbing your idea and they're pushing it, and that's cool. To me, it took me a while. It took me a while because you remember when I had the tattoo belts?
Yes,
I was the first one,
and that's been copied by a lot of people.
First one, and the only reason how I brought the tattoo belt was because the luchador, the wrestling guy. So the wrestling guy, I brought him in from Tattoo Mania, and I thought of the belt because I went to one of the lucha libres in Mexico, and I thought it was the coolest shit. And I was like, oh man, imagine tattoo artists just like they're battling each other on their competition of art. So that's how Tattoo Mania became. So I got this idea of the belts. And I remember when I first came out with the belts, people were like, whoa, shit, he's got the belt. People were walking with the belts like this, and it was cool. Boom. You remember that there was a website that it was like trophy awards?
They have belts now.
They had the belts. They came out with the belts. And then another show came out with the belts. I was so
there's like 5 shows that use your belts now.
And I stopped using them. So then I got more creative and started coming out with other ideas. And I remember telling you, I said, you got to get creative. You got to get creative with these, because the trophies, If you have like multiple shows and you have each trophies the same, as a shop owner, if I have like 10, 20 trophies behind me and they all look the same,
They look like you won them all in one show.
yes, it looks boring. You know, if you ever did, I've been to European shows. If you go to shows in Europe, you do those kind of shows, you see each one, it's different. Each one, it's amazing.
And they're usually handmade.
And they're all handmade.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Lisa, you have like a wooden almost kind of surfboard.
Yes.
Right. And they really stand out.
And it kind of took on a life of its own. You know, I got a board.
Right.
You know, my first board, you know, putting it up on Instagram and things like that.
And it really stands out. Right. And people would want to really feature that in their shop. But, you know, it's something different.
It's different.
Yeah. And Tattoo of the Day,
cool.
we did the shipping wheel, the ship wheel with the brass porthole.
Cool.
And so we just did those for Tattoo of the Day. And then we did the large, like life-size ship wheel for Best in Show.
Very cool. What do you think shop owners can do to be creative themselves to make the most out of conventions, right? What should shop owners be doing to make the most out of being at a convention? The owners.
I think one way is be creative in their booth.
In their booth.
You know, when I worked at the supplies, I made sure even suppliers. I'm not even just talking about artists, vendors, suppliers, you know, tattooers. You know, you're going to be there for 3 days. Make that your home, decorate that, make it nice, make it attractive to people. And, you know, you're going to sell yourself. And I think that's one thing I see when artists are just lazy and they just sometimes they don't put nothing.
Just have their
Yeah.
They just have a portfolio on the table and
You
know,
know,
a little sign available.
Yeah.
one thing I noticed with shows that I really do not like, and I'm trying to get you know, I'm trying to invent them and trying to get them out, is the buy one get one freeze, the
Tap outs.
the guys who are, you know, going there, they're trying to cut other people. They're going in there and they'll tell you, hey, that guy is over there charging me $300, and they'll cut him in half. I'll charge you $100 for that. You know, it's not a sweatshop. It's not there. We're there to all get together. All, you know, we should be professional. So if we have that's why in my paper now I'll put a minimum on there. And if you're charging under that minimum, I'll get you out.
Makes sense.
I'll get you out of there.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
just show up to try to undercut everyone. Get your
I don't want
business
no
that
undercutting.
way. Yeah.
You know, because you got people coming in from another state. They're spending money.
Traveling, yeah.
You know, they purchase the booth, food, all this stuff,
Yeah.
and they're paying a lot of money. They bring their family, and then you got a guy who's local, who's undercutting them. You know, that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're not going to come back.
That's
Those guys
that's
won't
not
come
exactly
back.
the creativity we're looking for, you know?
Mhm.
Lisa, what do you think?
So I work with a lot of artists individually because I do love to help the artists, whether it be with their artists. I can't tattoo, you know, and some of them aren't really brushed up on marketing, nor do they want to be. So I try to help them anyway when it comes to marketing themselves. But when you come, especially to Florida, you have the form that has to be filled out before every tattoo. I try to encourage every artist that's coming into the area to build your own business in this area. Come every year. When you're coming, make sure you make a phone call to the people you tattooed the year before and let them know that you're going to be in town again. Not only that, bring your friends with you this time.
Right. So proactively using that contact information. ahead of time.
Don't just collect it because
Right.
it's the law. Collect it and use it. Stay in front of them. Let them know. Do that all over the country. Start a little business in every country every time you're there, or in every state. Start a business in every state.
Yeah.
Every convention you go to, call them. Let
Yeah.
them know you're coming.
Reach out to them, right?
Don't just post it on Instagram or put it on a story. We
I
think
just
we
hope
see it.
hope that they saw, you know, any content that said the convention is again this year and that you'll be
Right.
there this year. Right. Yeah. Don't
Right.
leave it up to
I feel like
chance.
that. I also feel like, you know, I'm torn between, you know, one of the things when I'm watching the marketing leading up to the convention, you know, I'm trying to bring in all these people, you know, and I'm like, come Friday, check out the artist, get your appointment for whatever time you're available on the weekend, is seeing, especially local, you know, I'm full, no spots left. You know, like, no, there's so many people coming through the door.
Interesting. So they're
You
happy
know.
about that, and then they're advertising that as like swagger. Like, you know, I'll be at the
I
convention,
don't know
but
if
I'm
it's
totally
swagger or they're really notifying their clients that, you know, they're busy, but I like to think it's the latter, not the swagger. But I just feel like, you know,
don't cut that off.
don't cut that
the
off. Like,
possibilities,
serve the
right.
people that are coming in, or at least sit and have conversations. And if you aren't busy, go meet other artists, line yourself up some guest spots, invite other people to guest spot. You know, there's time to do both.
Yeah.
But I get it. You know, some are just like, I only make the amount of appointments that I need to pay my expenses. And the rest of the time is serving everybody who comes through the door.
Right.
So that's kind of a fair compromise.
Yeah, yeah. Chico, what do you think, without giving away any of your secrets, that shop owners should, you know, consider in order to make the most out of being at conventions?
As an attending artist?
Yeah, as an attending artist, and as a shop owner, as somebody who's like, I'm bringing my shop, I'm bringing my team.
Look different. Do something that's going to make them stop and look. Because you can walk down the aisle and after a while it becomes the same thing over and over.
That's what I'm saying. Decorate the booth.
It's like sampling ice cream.
Yeah.
You're going to taste the first 3-4 flavors. After that, it's all vanilla. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, look the same. Oh, look the same. I guess that's why maybe I was a little bit successful.
I mean, your booth stands out. You take four.
You know,
but you know your booth because the way you lay it out, it's always different.
But it's been copycatted 100 times before. I used to be the only one who did that.
He had an opener. He was the only one at first who was open because I remember a lot of promoters that were like, wait a minute, you don't want no pipe and drapes? No, just open. I just want to open, and then he has this huge
his
huge
banners.
big
Yeah,
But
great. Really
I'll be
stands
honest
out.
with you, some people don't want me because of that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention promoters, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shows now.
Stop.
No, I'm serious. That you can come, but you can only have 2 booths. So you can come, but you can't do your
and
quad.
the reason why is because they have other artists that bitch about it.
Right. Yeah.
And there's other artists that hate it. And they bitch, oh, look at this. You know, he looks like a sponsor. I'm like, brother, you know, if you want,
he is a sponsor.
Go ahead.
He
and
bought
put
4
you-
booths. You
No,
know what I mean?
No, that doesn't.
Right.
But that doesn't
not
make you a
technically a
sponsor.
sponsor.
No,
You know
make
what
a
I
sponsor.
mean? But like,
No,
in some
but I'm
way,
just
supporting it.
But if
you
you're
know?
gonna complain because his banner's really high, you know what you do? Go to Home Depot, get some PVC, make yours higher. You know, make yours bigger, make
creative.
yours
That's it.
shiner.
Yeah.
You know, just do.
That's
You
it.
know, you saw my layout for my aftercare. I learned that from Fame. Fame actually, he sent me to them. You know,
He's honestly, he's one of the best looking booths.
correct. He showed me. He was when he came out with that booth designed those thin. I was like, wow, this is nice.
I
He's one of the
remember
best looking booths. Yeah.
Damien Bart. Do you remember Damien
Of
Bart?
course, that was my first job.
And they used to come into the tattoo convention and set up a full-blown tiki hut out of their booths.
Yeah, he was usually
Like
there Thursdays
the
at 10
full
o'clock
thing.
in
But
the
that's
morning.
where
setting
Mark
up.
Yeah.
Longnecker.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
And it was great. I mean, the people were swarming around that.
Sure,
booth
yeah.
all
And
the
you,
time.
and you said Damien Bart. I remember when Bruce Bart was coming
Well,
out.
it was
Bruce Bart.
Bruce, and then it was
Yeah.
Damien. Yeah.
They
Bruce
would do
was there.
that's what Mark Longnecker and all that they come out with. Because Mark Longnecker, he does the same thing. His booth is really nice. He was like, I don't need pipe and drapes. I'll put my tent.
Yeah.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is I did a convention.
Oh, you did? You produced a convention?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and a partner. And it was in 2010. And it was in, what's that called? Panama City.
Okay.
And
I
that's
remember
why
that one.
that's why I hate Lisa and Chino. Because they make that shit look so fucking easy.
Uh-huh.
And I did it and I suck. That's why you don't see me doing any more conventions. People tell me all the time, Chico, why don't you do a convention? Because it's not easy, bitch. It's like if it was easy, I'd fucking be doing them. You know, this shit is fucking hard. Like,
It's a lot of work.
it's a ton of respect I have for both these people next to me.
But first
You
of
know?
all, this fucker here has 5 shops. I have 1 shop.
Little
And I
less.
can't even deal with the artist in 1 shop. He
It's a
has
little less to deal
5
with,
shops.
Uh-huh.
You know, he calls me up, yo, Chino, you got some artists, you know, for my shop over here? And I was like, hold on, let me make some phone calls and stuff. But it's I mean, both worlds, it's hard, but I think we have a love for it. And, you know, we try to do the best, even from somebody who not really tattooing. She figured it out and, learned from the artist, and it's like how to do it. Myself was somebody who's been doing it a lot, and I saw what I don't like. And, every time I've learned something, we're not perfect. There's sometimes I'll do something and, artists, you're not going to make every artist happy, and I try, but it's the best we could do. And the thing about it, a lot of times, if artists don't appreciate what you've done, my show's not for them.
Right.
My show's not for them.
Right.
It's like, it is what it is.
You can't make every artist happy.
No. And
some
what?
of them don't take
and
their
God
medication.
damn it, I try.
And what kills, and let me tell you,
Damn.
She tries.
I do. I try till
and
my last
what
breath.
kills me, and this is what kills me sometimes. And when I see it, when in social media, they put it down. Oh, these guys, they're just money hungry. They're trying to get money. They're trying to do this. I said, first of all, it's a business. You have a tattoo shop. You're money hungry. You know what I'm saying?
If it doesn't make dollars,
you're a
it doesn't make
tattoo
sense,
artist.
yeah.
You're money hungry. We all have a business.
Yeah, we all have requirements.
We have requirements. But that's why, as a promoter and putting the show together, is I look at my show as my shop. I look at it as my shop. My artist is everybody.
Right.
So I take care of everybody.
Exactly.
I make sure everybody's taken care of. I make sure I have the bio for them. I make sure I have the papers for them. I make sure I have everything they need, the marketing for them. I try to bring them clients. I don't sit in the back and just count the money. If they don't have clients, I'm hurt because I'm trying to figure out how I could get them happy, what I could do for them. So even when it comes to vendors, stuff like that. So if an artist, like I say, even in my shop, you experience too. Shops are not, artists, oh man, the shop's slow. We're not making any money. What can you do? What do you do when your artist is not making any money, when he's not happy?
Cry in the shower.
Yeah. Same thing. That's all you could do. You said, what you've done as a promoter. I know what I've done at my shop. If I've done something wrong, then I'm sitting back and I'm just sitting back like, think I'm a big player. And that would mean, yes, you guys have the rights to, talk bad about a show, do that.
But it would never happen.
No.
Because you wouldn't be able to pay the rent, so you wouldn't have a shop.
No.
And it's the same thing with a show.
And I had my shop for 13 years.
You can do a show 1 year
No.
and fail miserably, but I bet you won't do it the next year.
No. And I've been doing conventions. I've been doing conventions 10 years.
Right.
10 years doing conventions. So
And I will tell you that when I did get out of the east side of Florida and we moved over here, and I was doing it. I do all of it. I don't have a staff. So I do about 14 hours a day for a solid 6 months, at least 6 days a week. But I mean, that's what it takes. Because when you're done with everything, there's always something else to do. Okay, well, what can I do to make it better? But one thing is like the relationship that I've developed with Chino is, first of all, mad respect.
She'll call me like crazy.
I didn't call
She
you.
wanted to
You
help
guys
me.
called me for insurance.
Yeah, the insurance. She hooked me up with insurance.
But I did call you for biohazard.
But you see, that's the beauty of it.
That is the beauty of it, because like they were just like insurance. And I was able to help them. And I was like, biohazard. And he was like, able to help me.
That's what can make two shows
and
stronger.
That is why I literally love the relationship that we have and we developed over the year since my last show. And it actually happened because of Ink the Bay. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Why are you gonna give him credit?
Because I jumped on his podcast and I was
Thank
like,
you, Jameson.
go Chino, go.
Thank you. You're the man.
Okay, listen, this might be the only time anyone thanked Jameson.
No, but I was like, go Chino, go. I got your back. I'm right here. Like, what can I do for you?
What it was like, that was a big thing what he did. That was this year. It was this year. Yeah.
No, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years in a row. He's done the same shit.
Yeah, but
And
nobody
each one
spoke out
getting
about
worse.
it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so when Chino
they
was
got
like,
another
I'm
one in
speaking
March.
out,
So
I was like,
yeah,
You
he's got
serious?
another one in March. Yeah.
Okay.
At the same place.
Attention, all tattoo artists, please
oh,
repost this part. You listen to the whole thing. Make sure you follow and like, but subscribe. But repost and like this part. Do not do Ink the Bay in Tampa Something will go wrong. They're gonna eat the dogs and the cats. Something's gonna go wrong.
You know what's gonna
All right?
happen?
Something's
I'm
gonna
from
go
a
wrong.
small middle family.
Wait a minute. He's gonna send you.
What is it?
He's gonna send you a cease and desist.
That's
That's
fine.
what he
Do
sent
that.
me.
Really?
Hey,
Yeah.
I think the guy,
my
but
God.
no,
You said me.
seriously.
And
like,
I'll send
that's
him a
how I
cease and
jumped
desist.
on you.
It don't matter. It's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. It's just like,
Because it keeps getting canceled. And,
you know what it is?
No,
His,
it's not-
his
it's not
first
just
year,
What's going on? Yeah.
his first year, he offered me 10 free booths
Uh-huh.
just to use my name.
Okay.
I said that I'm not that famous.
Okay, hold on. Let's go here, and we're gonna talk about a little bit because I know a lot of people get the other side of the story of this ink debate. I met Jameson when I was already doing dialysis. He came up to me. He knew that I had pipe and drapes. He came to my shop and he was talking to me to try.
That might have been my fault.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you. So he came to me and he was like, "Hey, Chino, I'm doing this show, this tattoo convention, and I'm going to do it here in Tampa. I want to get some. I want to see if I could rent your pipe and drapes." I was like, in that moment, I'm always down to try to, make some money because why? Because I don't tattoo. I was, doing dialysis. I had to make other income.
Not only that, you know how much pipe and drapes cost?
Yeah. And, I was freaking medical bills. It was very expensive.
Yeah. Goodness, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll rent the pipe and drapes to you. One condition, you're going to sign a contract, a leasing agreement. But I'm going to tell you something. This is not easy. And because you're not in the tattoo industry, I'm going to let you know something. Be respectful. Don't cross the community wrong, because the minute you start crossing them wrong, they're going to frown on you. And that's it. And I told him just like that. Mm-hmm. I say, look at what Derb is doing. Look what other people are doing. You didn't have the show yet in that time, this first show. Mm-hmm. I say, look at what these people are doing, because you could kind of see and how to go there. That was my mistake. So from there, on the contract, it states there that he had to bring a lift truck with a lift bed, because I have a big rack that the rack weighs about 900 pounds. So you had to put it, because it has all the pipes there, and you just roll it and put everything there. And he had to bring it, because if not, you will not be able to put it in the truck. So I'm there with an oxygen tank. I just left the hospital. I'm with an oxygen tank. I take everything out of the warehouse. My wife wanted to kill me. This one wanted to kill me. My son, I'm wrapping everything. I had everything wrapped already on plastic. Had everything outside waiting for him. All the pipe and drapes waiting for. I rolled it, waiting for him there. I'm sitting there, going there, and suddenly from nowhere, I see a flatbed truck comes in front of my house. I'm like looking at this flatbed truck, and the guy looks at me, and I'm saying, "Who's towing somebody's car?" And he looks at me, and I say, Are you coming here for me?" He goes, "Hopefully not." I go, "You see this?" And he goes, "I'm not taking that." I say, "Listen, why are you coming with this?" And he goes, "Man, this guy Jameson has been forcing us. He was going to pay us extra. We had to come and pick up this stuff." I told him, "Hell no, you're not coming with that." And he's like, "No, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm going to leave it." I call him up. He's at the freaking venue in Tampa, at the convention center in Tampa, downtown. He's over there doing a video where he was supposed to be at my house to do all this. I told him, "Listen, I have an oxygen tank. I can't do this. I'm going to need your help to pull all this out. Don't worry, I'll be there early." And you know how I am with time. I was there a lot earlier trying to get everything set up. So he goes, and I'm looking at the social media, and I could see that he's doing this video, because in the TVs, it had Ink the Bay. He's like, "Oh, look, empty venue." You remember that video? Just to say Ink the Bay. I'm like, this motherfucker's out there doing freaking content where he was supposed to be in my house. I call him up, and I'm like, "Jameson, what's up with this truck?" "Oh, no, don't worry, man. You can't take it." I was like, "Jameson, you heard what I told you. You can't get this like this. And I'm not going to take each pipe and put it in a truck. We're going to be here all day." He was so cheap. Rather than get you know how we do Thursday to set up? He wanted to set up on Friday, the day to open the show. On Friday. That's a guy who doesn't know how to put a show.
That's impossible, by the way.
That's impossible.
Yeah,
Impossible.
Yeah. Right.
Especially he had about 200.
That's why he had no pipe and drape first show.
Yeah. So the reason what happened was, so he blamed it on me. He started calling everybody.
Every year he blamed it on somebody else, and every year that somehow he finds a partner.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Let-
that's
Who cares
what
about
happened.
Yeah, let's not talk about Jay.
Yeah.
We're giving that
taking our
guy
airtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're giving him too much free airtime.
But the only reason why I called it out like that, because people understand
oh yeah, definitely.
that you had to know the truth, how this guy plays, and whoever wants to partner up with him, this is what you're going to deal with.
Yeah, play at your own risk, buddy.
You know?
Well, I think what we were identifying for sure is that, there's always going to be groups of people who really want to do the right thing. And then there's going to be other people who are going to, get into the space and, we all kind of hope would eventually weed themselves out. Right. And, and our whole thing, right, we think different, in the good human cultures that we believe that even though there might be some bad actors out there, we know there's good people.
Oh, yeah.
We know there's
They're
good people like
everywhere.
you. It's
Absolutely.
Chico and I, vibed from the beginning when we met at your convention. And there's just always going to be certain folks out there. But my mom actually said it to me a long time ago because she was in the film business and she worked for this guy, Doug Trumbull. And she said, 95% of the people in this industry don't know dick about fuck about what they're doing. Yeah. That's why the same 5% always work together.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, always, just trying to find good people. And if you all, it sounds like, are in great communication and collaboration, which is a tremendous benefit to everybody, shop owners, tattoo artists who are going to be going to conventions.
It is. I mean, we also like to keep our autonomy too, right? Because I don't want to
you
hear his
communicate.
stuff. And
What does that mean?
meaning
you keep your own,
It's like anatomy.
you have
but
your own
different.
convention and she has her own
No,
convention.
Autonomy.
Wait, what's
with the
Oh,
big
¿qué es un
words?
autonomy?
No, like
It's
I'm not
anatomy in
gonna-
Spanish.
I'm from the
Autonomy.
streets.
Your
like,
shit, my shit.
Got
Your
it.
stock shit won't be no shit. Keep your shit
We
over
got it
there.
now. Understand.
No,
Thank
like,
you. Thank you for the
autonomy,
definition.
meaning,
Thank you for the
like,
definition.
Code switch.
like he doesn't. We want his show to be different than my show to be different than his show, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like we're there to help each other with like logistics and stuff like
So let
that.
me
But
ask
we
you
do keep our autonomy. But I did
Why
want
is
to
it so
say
hot
one
in here?
thing. I did want to say
Sorry about that.
I did
I thought
want
that
to
was gonna be the
say
question.
that in being a coordinator, right? Like what I hate to hear is only tattooers should own tattoo conventions. And I know I'm 14 hours a day. If you're running a tattoo convention and you're doing it right, and you're only having one, first of all, you're not going to be able to give up your tattooing job for that. But regardless, I feel like I'm able to surround myself. A good coordinator who produces anything will coordinate, or they will surround themselves with people who support what they do, and can answer the questions that I don't know about tattoo.
Yeah, and your convention is outstanding.
And I
don't
would
think
like
anybody
to
would say
say
anything
that
different.
Chico has been one of my staunchest supporters,
What's Dutch?
as well as
Otro.
Oh my
Strongest.
Oh, strong.
Strongest.
Strongest.
Duro.
Hey.
God. Yeah, like
Okay.
Chico.
Shit.
I didn't bring
my.
my thesaurus.
Hold
It's
on.
like-
Where's my phone?
Chico's been there for me. Casper, you mentioned him earlier. Casper's been there for me.
but me first, right? Damn. I always lose the Casper in height, in muscles, and the whole boat thing. Somebody said he was sexier than me. I don't know, Casper. Me and you gonna have to talk, bro. It's just like, go ahead.
But yeah, like Casper, Dharma. There's just so many people out there that support me. I contact Yalzi about anything that I do with my tattoo contest. Sometimes I take advice, sometimes I don't. Because sometimes it's more about coordinating the show. It's got to work with our show. Like I'll never combine healed and fresh ever. Never, never, ever. Well, I put them in the same category. It's always got to be two.
Right.
It's like herpes.
It's like her.
You never put fresh with healed. It's like
Well, and Lisa, you're able to really focus too on that, right? I mean, like we were saying
Yes.
earlier, Chico's got 5 shops, right? He might want to do a convention, but he'd have to really get some team,
Right.
and it's not that
only
he
if
could.
I hook up with Chino or Lisa. That's the only
Right.
way I'll do a convention.
Things like that,
Because
right?
I mean,
Then you can
it's
really pull
timing,
some-
it's
Yeah.
logistics, it's delivery, it's insurance, it's marketing, it's advertising. The part that I would need, which is artists and celebrity artists and tattoo contests. Aren't they fun anymore?
What?
Tattoo contests.
Listen, when it comes to tattoo contests,
He's like, Lisa, we don't have another
no.
hour.
When it comes to tattoo contests, I'm gonna tell you the years and what I've learned, I will pay somebody. So I have the judge or whoever, I pay them.
Yeah.
And as the owner, I'm not involved.
Yep.
The reason why, because that could become political.
Absolutely.
I don't like, and I know art promoters that they get involved in the contest. They like to judge the contest. I remember Joey. He told me one time. Joey's like, "Let me tell you something. Don't, as an owner, don't judge.
Right.
Don't judge because you're gonna have problems." And he told me that years ago. And from there, I took that as a grain of salt. I never judged in my life from there. I never.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
even like locals.
So when
local
when
artists
somebody
to
comes
judge.
to me regarding a problem with their, it becomes hard because especially now we have a lot of young artists that are amazing. They're good, talented artists, but they still don't have the how you said the respect. Losing, like, okay, you didn't lose. Why you didn't lose? Go ask the judge. Have the ball.
Respectfully.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
respectfully ask, hey, why is it I didn't win? Can you mentor me why? And then kind of sit with me and talk to me. And,
Absolutely.
and the judges, my judge is Yahtzee. I know Yahtzee from years. I knew him before I even did shows. I know him watching him. A lot of people don't know him. I watched him, in magazines. I see him in other conventions. He was doing, before he did the States, he was doing international judging. And to do those type of shows in, London and in Asian countries, you do those freaking shows to judge, it's not like anybody.
Right. It's a good thing to keep in mind, to keep it a little bit of a space.
So to have a guy like that to be judging and understand so not just going to that, because he's a collector, but he's knowledge, not just a collector. You tell him about a certain style, you tell him about a certain thing, he'll break it down.
Mhm.
He'll break it down to like a Bible, explain to you everything about it.
Right.
And that's, to me, it's so most, especially the new artists, they will be like, oh, he doesn't tattoo. Okay. I know a lot of good professors that probably don't do that, but they're book smart and they know about this subject and they could educate you on it.
Right.
So he could educate you when it comes to why certain tattoos look a certain way, why he could see a fresh tattoo. And he goes, ooh, when that
It's
heals,
not gonna heal right.
that's not going to heal right.
But how can I say this nicely? Public service announcement. If Yalzi is tattooing, and if judging your tattoo and you have a question, proceed with caution. Ask him nicely. Choose the correct words to ask,
Yes.
because your explanation may be physical if you go to Yalzi the wrong way.
Because he's
Yeah.
getting old.
Don't go
Yeah.
to Yalzi the
You-
wrong
He's
way.
getting viejito.
Just
No.
just
And
ask
he's
Yalzi.
a brother.
Ask
Taino.
Yalzi with all due respect, can you please tell me? And Yalzi will tell you. But if you're gonna go up to him the wrong way, good luck.
So that's
Absolutely.
good advice. So what advice do you have, for people, like top 3 things that you would advise tattoo artists about conventions?
Go with no expectations.
I feel I feel when it comes, again, you're gonna have to break it down to different types of artists.
Yeah.
You're gonna, when it comes to
Newer
Yeah.
artists, under
So,
10 years.
I'm gonna
right?
tell you, the newer artists, the
Mhm.
ones that really give us the problems a lot of times, because they expect this,
Mhm.
they expect, they expect all this stuff. Don't expect that. Like he just say,
Mm.
don't expect it. You going in there fresh, just like you went as an apprentice.
Pay your money and be happy.
Yeah, just like you went your apprentice, that you went there as a fresh meat. Don't go in there because your shit is badass. Don't go in there because your shit doesn't stink. You don't go there, oh, I'm the best artist. Oh, I'm better than him. I'm better than that.
Right.
You're new. You're new
Right.
to this little club.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, you're probably good in your own little space, but come in there respect, and you're going to be treated right. People are going to love you. They're going to take care of you. You're going to be treated like part of the group. But don't go in there and then every little problem that happens, bark about it.
Right.
Go in there, like
Mhm.
he said, go and talk.
Humble.
If you got a problem with the judge, talk to the judge properly.
Mhm.
You got a problem because they didn't take the garbage or they didn't do, or the booth you at, talk to the promoter.
Mm.
Talk to them, and then you'll figure out those probably were little mistakes. There was not something that was meant to happen. And that's it. Like you said, don't expect that. Just
Right.
come in there with an open heart, clear mind, and if it wasn't for you, that's okay. There's, like we said, there's plenty of shows out there. go for it. Enjoy yourself. But you're gonna experience the same thing every show. It's probably shows are not for you.
I just did a show. I'm not gonna say which show it was. Attendance was half of what it was last year. I asked for a quad. They gave me 4 booths the long way. So now my setup was wrong. And out of 900 booths, I think I was 878. And I've done all 4 of their shows. Did I complain? No. Now when I order a booth next time, I'm going to write in the notes, I was number 878. Can we do something about that? I asked for a quad and I was a straight line. Can I do something about
Sign
that?
up earlier.
No, it's not.
Pay earlier. No, I'm teasing.
I mean, I signed up the year before.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm teasing.
And I'm
I'm
gonna tell
teasing. You guys are great at that.
And the funny thing about it, I know I spoke to a show that's coming up, and they started doing it too. And I don't care if they take it, fine, let them take it, but it makes it easier for artists. I would say any promoters that doing shows, let your artists pick their booth. Let them pick their booth because they don't understand. I'm a shop owner. You're a shop owner. Sometimes we have artists that work for us and they open their own shop in bad terms and we don't realize it as a promoter. We don't realize it. We'll put him and put you together and you're going to have problems then.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I would say as a promoter, show him the floor layout. Pick your booth. Who's there? Oh, Chico's there. I don't like Chico. I'm going to go way down. I'm going to go to the 898.
Chino,
You know?
how many corners do you have?
What? Oh, I got plenty of corners. No, but I charge.
Teasing,
But I charge
everybody
more.
wants a corner.
Yeah, but I charge
Yeah.
more for corners.
Yeah.
So then you look at it. You
Yeah.
want a corner, you pay more.
I was teasing.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Can I have a corner?
Yeah.
You're signing up like a week before and somebody's canceled a booth and you want a
But
corner.
that's the thing that you just say. First come, first serve.
First serve.
So if you want a corner, get your booth now.
Yeah.
You want a corner at Ink Mania Fest? Get your booth now.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because they're gonna run short.
Sign up
So-
early,
Yeah.
pay early,
Yeah,
and then
so-
come in with humility.
Because the
and realize
problem,
it's
if you
not
start
about
giving corners to people that they just start getting that you put it out there, then it becomes problem. It's like, oh, favoritism. Oh, you gave that person a corner. Oh,
Yeah.
you gave that person a corner.
Right.
That's why it's better that you like throw it out there and just like, all right.
Did you sign up for your corner booths yet?
No, but I know somebody.
Well, so at least if
He doesn't have a corner booth.
Uh-huh.
Me.
So to be successful,
Uh-huh.
like for a convention, again, like Chino said, it depends on what their initial goals were. But I listen, I see factories sometimes down these aisles, they're just pumping it out. But if you can, try to, walk the room, shake some hands, meet new people, other artists, network in that regard, meet the judges, speak with the judges.
Give them some money.
Give them some money.
bribe the
Aside.
judges,
That's it.
But
Throw my
I,
Yahtzee.
buy him a
talk to whoever, the
Buy
vendors,
Yahtzee some vegan food.
the vendors, watch the podcasts. Also, I think that when you're going to, not so much for the local artists, but I mean, obviously it benefits the local artists. But one thing, I watched a guy sell out in literally 3 days online. Every time I opened my social media, it was him. Instagram, Facebook, didn't matter. And he was advertising coming to our show. So
Yeah.
he sold out in 3 days, lives in another state, and sold out just by running ads on Facebook and Instagram for 3 days.
right in that target area.
So
Yeah.
definitely learn how to
market.
do
That's
marketing
the-
when you're
promote
going
your
to
butt
another
off.
Especially
state.
social media. Social media is the best free. Let me say it again. Free marketing.
Yes.
And if they
But I mean-
know how to, no, it's free.
It wasn't free though.
No, it's
they did the
Yeah,
sponsor.
but-
I'm
but-
suggesting to
but
sponsor.
think about it. If you got so many followers, I got so many followers,
Mhm.
and you're in the state that I'm gonna do your show.
Mhm.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tag you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do some content.
Invite you to
Learn the
collaborate.
content with what platforms. Each platform is
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
So if I do a content for TikTok, a certain platform, a video of me talking, I'm gonna be at your show, and it's a good content. Do your content that reaches a lot of people. Tag you. tag you real quick, because then that content, your content with his, is gonna
Right.
and it's gonna go in
the algorithm. It's going to trigger the algorithm.
Algorithm
when you invite
changed.
to collaborate.
Algorithm has changed, and so it has changed the algorithm.
Right.
But know your platforms. Know your platform. So don't grab the same video you have on Instagram and throw it onto TikTok. If you're gonna grab a video from Instagram that has a lot of followers, that's a lot of views, that you see a lot of activity going on, grab that. That's the one you want to boost.
Right.
That's the one you want to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got something that I'm like doing me tattooing, talking about your show, going there, and I have like 3,000, 4,000 views, I'm gonna boost that video. I'm the one I'm gonna boost.
Right. Well, so what I've noticed is that just with this one in particular artist, it wasn't about him. Mm-hmm. It was just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work.
Yeah.
And 3 days. 3 days. I was like, what'd you do? Spend like $10,000? Because I just kept it was just to music. It was just up there.
That's
it was
all it
great.
It's just the content, the music.
It wasn't anything wild. It wasn't, his logo. It was, of course, his logo was up at the top, but what really hit you. So I would say if you are going to a convention, to market that you're going to be at that convention. And then like you were saying, tag it, invite to collaborate, do all that. I would definitely say if you're repeating, if you're a repeat customer to that convention or artist to that convention, definitely call all your people. And your ultimate ask when you speak to them is, are you coming? If they say yes, do you want to schedule an appointment? Yes or no? The other ask is, can you bring your friends?
Right.
Okay.
Like, can you bring your friends? I love that way you're pointing out, like real human to human contact.
Like, but this is how you said successful.
Yeah,
I think Chino hit on the emotional, that part of it. But there is, other than sitting down, I did have an artist, a local artist, great gal, and she was like, first convention, and she's like, I will not do what I just did. And she wrote a whole thing on her social media about it, that she just had her head down, just tattooing the entire time. And she missed out on talking to the local community, possibly getting new clients. Right. Her body, it took a toll on her body, to be in that position for 12 to 13 straight hours. So for her to, put that out there, it's definitely like, you need a little mix. You got to play it up.
That's why it's good to always have somebody with you. Because if you're busy tattooing, that's why you see Chico, he's around his booth, always around his booth, because when somebody's looking, I see him walking right towards that client.
Right.
Yeah, I want to make sure they don't steal nothing.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
But he's going one way, his wife goes the other way.
He calls them his wife too. They call them the closers. They're the closers. So you need that. Especially if
I call them
busy.
Mama and Baby Shark.
Yeah. You need that because you need that closer. You need that person in front.
Yeah.
Especially,
I was very impressed from day one, Lisa, tell people, this has been great. Thank you both. You shared so much information for people that are watching, and I know they're going to be better off for it. Well, Lisa, where can they connect with you, follow you?
You can reach us at Florida GC Tattoo Expo. That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. So it's Florida Gulf Coast Tattoo Expo. You could go to our website, floridagctattooexpo.com, and you can find out about getting a booth for a vendor, for an artist. There's an application process, so you do have to be approved. You can buy tickets. If you're an attendee and you're watching this, you can buy tickets. And you can see us in local tattoo shops. The information will be there. We'll put postcards in all the local tattoo shops. And we typically are running around the neighborhood. Going to all the different festivals and things like that, putting our marketing out there, bars, restaurants, concerts.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for being here, because I know you're very much used to doing a behind the scenes
Yes.
thing, and so
That's my first
you've
time
been
in front of the camera.
Yeah, you've
I'm
been
not
running
good at
around
it.
at the convention and nobody knew it was you. Now they do.
Yes.
And so just thanks for your generosity.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no.
Thank
of
you for the
course.
opportunity.
Absolutely,
I solely appreciate
it's our
it.
pleasure.
Totally.
And where can they follow you? Anybody who's watching and connect with you?
So I have now it's 2 shows. So
Okay.
I have I still have Ink Mania Expo.
Right.
So you can connect with me inkmaniacon@gmail.com
Okay.
or social media Ink Mania Expo,
Okay.
and that's going to be October 17. I think October 17, 18, 19
Okay.
of next year.
Yeah.
And then we have Ink Mania Fest. That's the new one. First in Ink Mania Expos in St. Pete. So Ink Mania Fest, that's the new one. That's going to be in Tampa, April 25th, 26th, 27th.
Awesome.
That's going to be at inkmaniafest@gmail.com as well. Go to Ink Mania. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, connect with me with Ink Mania Expo, because the Ink Mania Fest is still brand new.
Sure.
So get with that.
Sure. And then your studio, Stigma and
Stigma Ink.
Mm-hmm.
And you can Stigma Ink in Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And my tattoo aftercare, Black Eye Products.
Awesome. Well, you two are up to so much. It's fantastic. And Chico, thanks for being the connecting force that has brought us all together here. And
No, I did that.
well, yes, you're right. Lisa's convention did, and Chico was like, "Hey, listen, why don't we get
So
Lisa and
what's
Chico
up?
in here?"
You guys are not going to be in my show?
We're going to absolutely.
Okay,
You know
'cause
we're
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
there.
say,
absolutely going to be there. Absolutely, looking forward. to
Hey,
it.
one thing, we're gonna have MMA. So this is the first thing we're gonna do. It's gonna be actually I just set it up. I'm gonna have MMA where it's gonna be amateur MMA, and actually artists could sign up.
Are you still gonna have the churro
Interesting.
truck there?
Huh?
The churro truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's still
I'm
around
there.
with the two
But
of us.
I'm gonna have actually tattoo artists.
Oh yeah.
Tattoo artists that go fight each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't look
So-
at me. I'm not
That's
fighting.
Yeah.
great.
They can get,
That's great.
they can get out
It
their
was
aggression.
Giuliano
and
that
have
told me.
respectful, you know?
It was actually
Great. I love
Giuliano.
it.
Giuliano was like, "Hey, I got a guy that do jiu-jitsu," and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do that."
Yeah.
There you
And I
go.
just had it set up. So we have a lowrider.
That's
show.
cool. We get to ruin tattoo careers.
Yeah, break the arms.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah.
I
You
guess
might need help with that insurance again.
Yeah, we'll
I
see
already
how
called
that all
them.
pans
I
out.
already called
You
I
know,
already called them up.
very cool. So thanks for joining us, and go to both these conventions and keep up with these people. They're doing an amazing job in the industry and really, really helping people. And I really,
thank
really
you very
appreciate you all being here.
Thank
and
you.
Now
we'll
I have to
see-
drive 5 hours back home.
Yeah, thanks for doing it. You both did, so thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy tattooing.
Remember, if you like what we're doing, follow, share, and subscribe.
And if you really like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps.